What's your take?
Yeah.
On where society is heading in terms of their mindset, their desires and their goals.
Yeah. Great divisiveness, unfortunately. I think be very, very much divided in terms of, the haves and the have-nots. I think what you're going to see is greater polarization. You're going to see, because of the pandemic, because of exponentially increased screen time with younger folks and teenagers and young kids, etc. Great, psychological scarring. You're going to see great mental health challenges. We're seeing right now the intake and the NHS waiting times for mental health. Mind Charity has released a report on that. So you're going to see a society that doesn't know how to really bring itself back together. Right. We're having piecemeal solutions, but we are not truly bringing it back together. It's going to take a lot of years to really undo the changes brought by the pandemic.
Bro, the mental health issues at the moment are shocking.
Catastrophic.
It's actually shocking.
Catastrophic.
I was this time last year, or probably sometime last year, but I was, on the rare occasion that I listened to the radio.
Yeah.
Something come on, there was an advert on the radio and it said something, it was something about loneliness in 18 to 25 year olds. And it was like a helpline or something, I don't know. But it spat out an interesting statistic. It was fucking high.
Yeah.
This statistic of loneliness in 18 to 25 year olds.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there, I'm thinking, how are you 18 to 20 and lonely? What the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
It's actually shocking.
Yeah.
Loneliness was reserved when I was growing up as a kid.
For the elderly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're 85, 95 years old.
Yeah.
And your partner's passed away and your kids, are all grown up and doing their own life.
Yeah.
It was reserved. Now it's 18 to 25 year olds. What the fuck is going on?
Shocking. But when you see what's been taken away from them for so long, they're struggling to bring it back. They're struggling for normalcy.
So what is it that is causing this loneliness? Like, what? I just don't get it.
Because
I really
we've
don't
lost,
get it.
A sense of self along the way. We've had so much how. It's never been easier for like a how, but we lost a why. A real why. Why should I do this job? Why should I? And if we don't do that job, I might not have X amount of friends, or I might not have X amount of mates to meet at the pub. We've lost that why. We've lost, that will to go forth and experiment. And, not every experimentation is going to work out. I think we've lost the will to, truly make mistakes. We've lost the will to truly make mistakes because it goes back to perfection, which goes back to ego. If we don't have the will to make a mistake, we're assuming everything should be perfect.
Right.
And I think, this is not, my word, or at least I don't think it is, but pandemic creep again and again, because we want everything neat in our glass bubbles, no mistakes, perfection at all times. That's why you have loneliness. You've lost sense of self in the hunt for normalcy, in the hunt for things to get back to pre-pandemic life.
Yeah, I can agree with a lot of that. I think the loneliness aspect of it is, we're dehumanizing ourselves. When we look at our phone, so most of our time now, most of our attention is on these things, right? So when we open it up and we click on Instagram or whatever, and we spend hours of the day, sometimes, throughout the week, scrolling through it. And, we're looking at other people and what they're doing, and it all looks great, and it's, it's all perfection. And, you put the phone down again, and then people are disconnected from reality. So like the interactions now between, say, people of, Gen Z, I see it all the time. I was driving. I drove past a school near me, and you know, when I was a kid, right, going to school, we didn't have phones. Well, we did have phones, but it wasn't iPhones.
Yeah.
It was sliding phone. You know, the slide phones. Remember those?
Yeah.
So we didn't have apps or anything like that. So the phone was in our pocket, and we talked to one another.
Yeah.
I drove past the school recently. Every kid, bro, every kid outside the school is like this, and they're just doing this. And there's like five, six of them in a group, but they're all on their phones.
At my home I grew up in, it was just like, no phones at this time, no phones at that time.
In your house?
Yeah, in my house. Yeah.
Okay, so your family had rules.
Yeah, and
that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. I remember. So we moved into like a home, and we didn't have a TV set up, and we had to watch TV through a laptop we had.
What do you mean you didn't have a TV set up?
Because we just moved in.
Oh,
so
okay. Oh, right. Yeah.
TV in our home.
Okay.
And we were watching through this TV, but we were like forced to read. We were forced to really, cultivate our minds. We're forced to, no TV on school night, no phone, no excessive phone, like et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
So
it's wild. I mean, comparing that today is like another galaxy ago.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was there's a guy called Patrick Bet-David. You probably heard of him.
Valuetainment.
Right? Yeah, exactly. He's a great guy. I love him. And I was watching a video on him recently, and he said that in his house, in his family, I love this. His kids are not allowed to play Xbox or anything like that throughout the week.
Yeah.
It's only on weekends.
Yeah.
And in order to earn the right to do it on the weekend, they have to read a certain amount of pages per week in a book. They have to do a certain amount around the house. And I'm like, this is great. This is what should be structured in people's lives, especially from an early age now, because I've seen kids with fucking iPads at 2 or 3 years old, and they're just doing this. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. But the parents, they shove it in front of their face.
It's very sad.
And the kids just mindlessly doing this, and they have no idea what they're watching. And
why not talk to your parent? Like, why not talk to them? Even if you're, even if you're like 2, 3, but if you're 4, 5, 10, 9, talk to your parents though. Talk to them. Talk to like a friend.
Yeah, but it's not the kid's fault. The kid has no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
It's down to the parent to take responsibility for the child.
Yeah.
But most adults now, they're not educated on this.
Yeah.
They have absolutely no idea what the fuck they're doing in terms of the impact that this has on a brain, because the brain doesn't fully evolve until the age 25.
Yeah.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
So during those years, during the formative years of a child's life, from the ages of 0 to 6, the conscious mind, they're not conscious yet, because that's why memories, when you think back, they tend to stop around 5, 6 years old. You can't think much further back than that, really.
Yeah.
You might have a few here and there.
Yeah.
But your conscious mind is still evolving. So you're not conscious yet of your reality. And it's called the imprint phase. That's such a key moment, because your mind is wide open.
Yeah.
So anything that goes in is going to form the base level of your mind for when you're an adult.
Yeah.
It can change through emotional impacts and things like that. But mostly what goes in from a young age is going to it's going to have an effect on the child's mind.
And it's programming. It's programming.
It's all programming.
Parental actions, parental, advice, parental, what they say around the home. It all feeds in. Subconsciously, you're right.
Yeah.
Subliminally, subconsciously,
Absolutely.
Then you become, more reactive as an adult, teenager, adult, even beyond that, why am I reacting in this kind of way? Why am I brushing people off? Why am I, so focused on me and my goals as opposed to what my partner, how I should be showing up for others? Because it all goes back to, we were just given a device and just told to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting, right? Somebody said this to me. I can't remember how I learnt this. But, so you know, like fetishes and things like this.
Yeah.
Right? I can't believe I'm talking about this. But apparently now kids are growing up with these, with these devices. It's possible that they will develop a fetish, or some kids will develop a fetish around these devices and certain people using them in the household and things like that. And that is kind of
that's wild.
That's worrying, because no one really knows. I don't know the data or the studies around fetishes and how they evolve.
Yeah.
Let's not go into that.
Yeah.
But that was really shocking to me. Imagine having a fetish over a fucking iPhone.
Talk iPhone to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It's very bizarre.